This right here is whiskey, and that's about all we know. We have no clue what we are drinking. You're going to get our honest opinions because we've removed all the bias because we are double blind. Let's get into these two and see what's up.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh, and we are back with another double blind head-to-head, which is what we do over here. And if you like it later on in the video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Or you can do it now.
I mean, you could, but, you know, we've got to give people a reason. Don't just subscribe because we ask you to. Subscribe because you want to.
Or you can subscribe because we ask you to. That's fine with me.
Well, it needs to be right in your heart. But
I'm just kidding.
Nonetheless, we're going to taste these two.
Okay.
They've been drawn at random from our blind sample pool, full of a bunch of different bourbon and rye matchups, most of which are paired up for one reason or another. We do have some curveballs in here to keep us on our toes, though. We don't know if these are bourbons or ryes. We don't know why they're paired up. You already know what the bottles are. You're going to get to see what we think about them. What do you think about glass one on the nose?
It smells good. It smells
pretty standard to me. Pretty standard
like
bourbon-y.
Standard bourbon, meaning there's some fruit forwardness.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some darker, warmer carameliness.
Vanilla.
A little vanilla.
Yeah, a little bowl of ice creamish.
When I say like standard whiskey, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like some fruit sometimes, but usually like vanilla and caramel.
Yeah, caramel, vanilla, oak. This to me is just like a bowl of vanilla ice cream that has a little bit of fruit. Maybe not on it, but maybe it's in a bowl beside it.
I feel like this is like a vanilla ice cream, a French vanilla ice cream in a bowl of freshly shorn wood.
Shorn?
You shorn sheep.
I don't even know what shorn means.
Freshly carved wooden bowl. So you can still smell some wood, but it's like vanilla, French vanilla.
By the way, we're given notes. This doesn't seem particularly strong to me. It's a pretty average to light nose, I would say, in strength and concentration. It's not jumping out of the glass.
It smells good. It smells medium.
Yeah. It's good on the palate.
Oh, it's coming across a little more spicy. Like tingly on like the roof of my mouth specifically.
Yeah, I was ready to say it tastes medium too, which I think is one of the best tasting notes or nosing notes we've ever had on this channel, because a lot of stuff is medium. That's why the medium is the medium. It's the middle. It's the average. And this on the nose smells average, but on the palate, it comes to life a little bit.
A little bit. Not so much that it makes it feel special.
It was just surprising.
It was surprising, yeah. I think
because the nose was so medium.
I think the fruitiness is gone for me on the palate. It's pretty much tasting like oaky, like wood, and then the kind of tingling, spicy sensation on the roof of my palate. And then the finish is medium. Like it's kind of medium.
I need another drink of this because
Okay.
that surprised me with what it came through with on the palate.
Oh, this was really oaky, like woody, like popsicle stick, like on the second sip.
Yeah, to me,
Real heavy on the oak.
Yeah, this is fruit and oak. Very fruity, very oaky. And it's those two things. And the oak is kind of overpowering the fruit now in the finish. It's sticking around. It's lingering. Wow.
There is still that tingle a little bit. The finish is better on the second sip. It's longer. It's like
You're getting a tingle still? Mm-hmm. Okay, it died down for me. Wow, the finish is really setting in the back of the palate now. It doesn't drink super heavy-handed. It's kind of medium in that way, but the finish is setting in. The flavors are pretty pleasant if you like those flavors
I
of
feel
fruit
like
and wood.
this glass is the type of glass that builds upon itself.
Yeah. Like when you eat a meal that has cayenne spice in it, as you take more bites, like Nashville hot chicken.
It becomes like
We're here in
more
Nashville.
spicy.
Yeah, it like subsequent bites get more and more spicy. This is building at least 2 sips in.
Like the finish has just built upon the last sip. And I feel like that would continue to happen.
Yeah, and the oak on it is pretty pronounced, and it's pretty sweet. And I think maybe that's a kind of an amalgamation with the fruit.
Maybe.
And I don't even know what kind of fruit. Like it's red fruit.
Yeah, I'm
Fruits that
picturing
are red in color.
But like, yeah, red fruit. And I feel like I just got something in my eye. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Do we need to take a pause for station identification?
No, we're good.
Okay. Let's get into glass 2
Crisis
on the
averted.
nose. Oh, this smells fruity too.
This smells old. And what I mean by that, I think, is kind of like when if like you go in, you open the door to a room that's been shut up a long time, like kind of
that's a good
slightly
note.
stale air.
Yeah, that's a good note.
That's what this smells like.
Yeah, I could see you there. It's almost like it has a little bit of an old library type of thing to it. And the first,
Not quite with the books though. This is more like an old stagnant air smell.
the first glass definitely came through with this element of age on the palate with that woodiness. Let's get the second.
I don't know though. I got popsicle stick in the woodiness, which is like a young wood to me.
I did not.
Interesting.
Let's get this on the palate and see how it compares.
Also, I had to change hands because I feel like I taste better with my right hand. Oh wow.
You have said that, and it's really weird.
I think it's true.
Wow. That's brighter than I thought it would be.
It's brighter, but it's like meh.
These are like flip-flopped.
Like it was brighter and then it just like went away.
These are
like
flip-flop.
bad.
It's like the first glass has the nose is just kind of medium.
Yeah.
And then the palate brings in the age.
It's
and
a
all that
little
for
better
me.
than you expect.
And then this one, the nose has that a little bit older smell and seems really nice. You get on the palate, it's seemingly very bright, or it is very bright and seemingly a little youthful. There's a little bit of pop rocksiness going on the
I'm
palate.
not getting pop rocks. It just like literally was like water.
Bright,
just
thin.
dissipating in my mouth. Let's take a second sip though. Maybe it will build.
Can't trust that first one.
Ooh. I don't know if I like this.
Ooh, I'm not sure if I do or not either.
It's getting a little it's so watery feeling.
It's getting a little bit of bitterness to it.
Bitter, yeah. Like
thin bitterness.
yeah, and just the consistency. I literally if you take away the flavor of it and you just drink it on consistency alone, it feels like I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
As far as the viscosity.
Is it possible to say that some people might read that as being silky and they might like that?
Yeah. Maybe. Hold on.
I don't know that I would agree with that statement. I'm just asking to play devil's advocate here. To me, it's like thin and bitter, like my middle school secretary. She was thin and bitter.
So I think if you like whatever the flavor of this is, I could see how you would think you could say that finish is silky. To me, it feels watery because it definitely tastes bitter. Like the more I drink, the bitter aftertaste.
Yeah,
the bitter the aftertaste gets.
What's lingering on the first glass for me was sweet oak. What's lingering on the second glass for me is a little bit more bitter oak.
Yeah.
And that could be age. It could be older oak that's contributing to this kind of bittery type of taste to it. Or it could be young and it's just coming through with bitterness. Who knows why? We don't know what we're drinking again. But what we are going to do, Erin's already started, clear our palates, take some time, start with the second glass, go back to the first, do a little bouncing back and forth to see which one we prefer, give them some ratings and all that stuff. We'll be right back with all that information in just a minute. A very necessary break for me, but we don't talk about this. How do you feel after spending some time with them? What do you think?
So,
what are your ratings?
I do have a clear winner of this head-to-head.
Yeah.
I prefer glass one.
Yep. It's not particularly close.
However, they're both getting just okay.
Really?
Because I don't particularly like the flavors. So when we took our little time, I started with glass two and then went back to glass one. And when I went back to glass one, I did get a lot of that like aspartame fake sweetness flavor that you had talked about. And I don't particularly like that in my whiskey. So that kind of knocked it for that. This one would just got even more bitter as I was drinking it.
Yeah.
And that's not fun for me. So they're not for me. However, if I had to pick another one to take another sip of, it would be glass one. So it wins. It's like my winner for
by
this.
default, because
For the
one has
head-to-head.
to be preferred.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, same thing. Starting with glass two, going back to glass one, it highlighted that bitterness on glass two, the thinness, the kind of sharp and brightness. I just didn't particularly love it. I didn't hate it. I can drink this on certain occasions, but it's not my favorite profile, so it's getting a just okay. But glass one, going back to it after glass two, the nose got so much more fragrant. It got almost like a funnel cakey, like a fried dough element with some powdered sugar on it. I really love that. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I like glass one
What
a
did the
lot.
flavor do when you went back to it, though? You talked about what the nose did when you went back.
It opened up more, and that fruit and oak just became so much more cohesive.
Oh,
Glass
interesting.
one
I
to
had
me,
the opposite.
really, yeah, no, I really like glass one. Thumbs up for me.
Okay.
Solid pour. Both of these strike me like, if they're $50 or less, that would seem about right in my mind. I've had bottles that cost $50 to $70 that strike me like glass one. I've had bottles that are like $30 that strike me like glass two. That's just me laying that out there, not to guess what they are, but to kind of give you a frame of reference for kind of what these taste like quality wise. Okay. We both preferred glass one. What was the price on it?
On glass one?
Yes.
$50.
I said $50.
Yeah.
Price on glass two?
$45.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, Well, I mean, I'm buying glass 1. I'm probably if I can get glass 1, I'm going to buy it, and I will pass on glass 2,
So
personally.
you're staying thumbs up and just okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would stay.
Hold on.
Yeah, glass 1 for $50. I'm happy with that. I wouldn't want to spend more than that for it, but $50, I'm happy.
Well, dadgummit. I feel good about the price.
Yeah. You're not getting ripped off at $50.
It's not hitting whatever this is not hitting me today in a way that I would want to go buy it.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I did buy it and I spent the money on it, I wouldn't be upset.
Right.
So
yeah. I wouldn't want to spend $100 on this.
I am going to stay just okay for the official score. Mm-hmm. But I will say I feel like both of these are worth their price.
Fair value.
The flavor profile on glass 2 is not for me, but if it's for you, I think you would really like it. For the price, great. $50 for this, great. I feel like they're fair.
All right, let's find out what we've been drinking. What's glass number 2, number 43 in our pool?
Oh, we can't get any of these, I don't think.
What's glass 2?
Bardstown Origin Series, white label.
What? Glass 2 is Origin Series? White label?
Yeah.
Wow, what's glass 1?
Bardstown Origin Series, black label.
We just picked a weeder over a rye-based bourbon.
No way.
Is that right?
This smells like the weeder. This got funky. This was funky.
No.
Did I read that right?
You did. Yeah. And both of these samples are thanks to Bill and Delia Kavanaugh. These are products that, at least to my knowledge, don't go to the store all the time, but in our small local stores, these are not really in our market very much.
I think this is wrong. I'm going to
No, that's right. It's right. Well, look at the proof difference. This is 96. This is 100. Mm-hmm. Not a big difference, but this is absolutely correct. This is absolutely correct.
Wow.
So the spice and the brightness of the rye base is coming through more, and it's youthful. They're both bottle and bond, but I think they're both 6 years.
Okay.
So bottle and bond means they're at least 4 years, but I think both of these are stated to be 6 years old.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised how much oak is coming through on the black label, the wheated bourbon. Mm-hmm. The oak is really coming through. Wow, I forgot this matchup was in here. So thanks to Bill and Delia for making this possible, because these, again, products are not in our market really. Mm-hmm. And if they do show up, because it's so limited, they kind of go. But in a lot of markets, they do sit on shelves.
This is wild.
I have heard people talk about the white label being bright, sweet, fruit forward,
Why is it so thin though?
It's just 96 proof and younger,
This has a funk that I normally get on wheated bourbons, which is why I think that somewhere we messed up.
No, I don't. I think the funk you're getting is just like a little bit of the grain, a little bit of corn. Perhaps. And I taste it now that I know what it is.
Perhaps, okay.
And I'm getting the bright fruit of what people say that this pour has in it. And it's interesting because I haven't been super excited to go out and buy either one of these because they're not quite the thing I reach for on a typical basis.
Yeah.
But I think the black label has surprised me today. I think that's what I've learned here. And maybe you've learned something as well. But the black label did really surprise me because I'm not used to liking wheaters this much.
Same. I'm not used to really liking wheaters either. There are a few I have liked before, but historically, not so much. But maybe I'll have to start changing that because I'm liking more and more wheaters lately.
So the lack of spice on the palate becomes very apparent now that I know that it's a wheater.
But I got like some spiciness on the top of my mouth.
I'm not getting that now. I'm getting all flavor.
Well, now because you know what it is, so you're not looking for it.
No, I know, but it was driving flavor. It was giving me impressions of being older than it is. And that's been consistent through this whole tasting.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Whether you get Bardstown products in your market or not, that's going to be area dependent. One thing we've learned from doing this channel is that distribution and prices and all that stuff is so market dependent. It's really hard to unilaterally say, these are going to be on your shelf and they're going to cost this much money. We're just going on the best knowledge we have based on our local market or on reviews we've seen online or prices we can find online. But yeah, Bardstown, they have produced products in the past that we have loved. They have produced products in the past that we have hated. You are not going to come to this channel based on our blind tasting format of cutting out all the bias and find biased information or biased opinions. Because
we don't know until the end after we've already given our opinions what we're drinking.
Right. Bardstown is a little bit of a industry darling in the community realm, and they get a lot of praise from a lot of people because of the way that they do things and everything, and that's fine. You know, we don't fault anybody for supporting them, and we know like there are people at Bardstown, awesome place.
Yeah,
Awesome people
we've
that
been
work
there
there.
a couple times.
Yeah, one of our favorite places to go when we're in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, when it comes to the whiskey in the bottle, these blind tastings cut out all of that favoritism, and you just get what you have in the glass.
Like Shakira says, her hips don't lie.
Yeah.
We should say our blind tastings don't lie.
The blinds don't lie. The blind
blinds
hips don't lie. And
The blind hips don't lie.
and for you, these are both just okay.
Yeah.
But you do like the weeder more, which is interesting.
Very.
Because it's a weeder you like,
Interesting.
and Aaron doesn't typically like weeders.
Yep.
For me, I'm a black label guy. Now, having tasted these, if I see the white label, I'll leave it on the shelf personally. Not saying it's bad. It's just a little bright and thin for my personal taste.
Mm-hmm.
But the weeder has a little bit more depth, a little bit more richness. And I actually, at $50, I was thumbs up.
Yeah.
Which kind of means I would buy a bottle.
And
I would buy a bottle.
While I stayed just okay, I do think the price was fair on both of them.
Yeah, very cool. If you think that you like this video, again, subscribe. If you want to check out our Patreon, best dang group of people on the planet as far as
Absolutely.
whiskey goes. You can find that information in the video description. We release our barrel picks over there. We're trying to get a Bardstown Bourbon Company pick. Don't know if it'll happen, but we're trying. Trying to get a bunch of other picks as well. And sign up for the free tier. Go to Patreon, sign up for the free tier, because if it goes through all the paid tiers and barrel picks are still available, those release to the free tier. So you might still be able to get some of our barrel picks that way, but for
Yeah.
as little as $3, you can get plugged into our online community over on Discord, and then the tiers go up from there.
Yeah.
Even at $3, you get access to the private live streams that we do. I do a ton of pop-up live streams, sometimes with guests here in studio. All kinds of fun stuff is happening over on Patreon. And there's fun stuff on stuffandwhiskey.com.
There is.
Which is where you can find cool shirts like this.
Yeah.
This is my favorite shirt ever. I haven't taken it off in like 3 weeks. I sleep in it. I work in it. I live in it. I shower in it.
Sucker.
Yeah. It's smelling pretty bad over here, which might taint our opinions on all of this stuff that we're tasting and smelling. But anyways, if you like that sort of thing, like good merch, cool shirts, check that out down there.
Yep.
I think that's it, right?
That's it. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Be good to each other. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers. And take a bath.
You should take a bath.
All right.
You leave that part in.